Political protest in sports isn't new. There were Tommy Smith and John Carlos's raised Black Power fists during the medal ceremony at the 1968 Olympic Games in Mexico City, the Miami Heat's hooded team photo to call out the death of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin in 2012, the NBA's I Can't Breathe t-shirts in the aftermath of the death of Eric Garner in 2014, and Colin Kaepernick's peaceful kneeling protest during the national anthem in 2016, the same year a majority of Americans said they didn't want to see Black Lives Matter protests at the Olympics. But amid recent protests over the police killing of George Floyd and racism reckoning, sports leagues, athletes, and brands, inclined to project an apolitical image, are coming out in an unprecedented, full-throated defense of protests against racism and injustice. As peaceful demonstrations drew out thousands of protesters across the U.S., legendary athletes like Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and LeBron James threw their support behind social justice. At the same time, other NBA players turned out to protest as teams issued statements fully condemning the deaths of Black Americans at the hands of police. English soccer player Jadon Sancho tore off his jersey to reveal "Justice for George Floyd" written on his undershirt after scoring his first goal of the match on Sunday, receiving a yellow card for his gesture. San Antonio Spurs coach Greg Popovich called on white Americans to act against racism, saying that African Americans have been shouldering this burden for centuries. Notably, the NFL, which faced criticisms over Kaepernick's treatment, for example, the league issued a since-rescinded policy to fine or suspend players who made political demonstrations on the field during the national anthem, released a statement on Floyd's death that described an urgent need for action. The protesters' reactions to these incidents reflect the pain, anger, and frustration that so many of us feel, the NFL tweeted. Lars Barron, Pool via AP. Not only have these overt stances in favor of social justice, by activists, athletes, or both, gained widespread momentum, but they're also prompting major consequences for those who show a lack of public support, or worse. Reebok severed ties with CrossFit following an insensitive comment from company CEO Greg Glassman on Floyd's while its top athletes are boycotting the sport. The LA Galaxy announced it had released midfielder Alexander Katai for racist posts his wife made on Instagram mocking protests over Floyd's death, including commenting on a post cheering on police attempting to drive through protesters in New York and a picture with the caption, "Black Nikes Matter." Meanwhile, there have been plenty of sports figures, including athletes and staffers, particularly in college programs, who have lost scholarships and roster spots over racist social media comments and posts.